And yeah, it's just ever since then, like I've gotten so much support. My second series called Afronet Runners. If you go to the bottom, the Afronet Runners 1 is the map farther down, just one row farther. Afronet Runners 1 is the beat map that I created in 2018. It was one of my first experiments with processing language. And I just fell in love with the way I could create like short versions of games, because game design is really hard and I usually need a whole team to create a full game. But I could create like frames of it, and just as I love video games and sci-fi, it just like felt great that while I was learning processing, I could create things that look so much like old sci-fi movies and things I really, really love. And I chose the title Afronet Runners because I'm Afro-Caribbean, and I made this in a time where I was away from family, and I just felt like almost like an alien where I was, and I just wanted to find something to empower myself with. And I feel like Afronet Runners is a way to empower anyone that color, and like to be in a position or at the same level of many others that control the web and what's happening in the world, like computer science especially. I don't know if any of you have heard of the Algorithmic Justice League, which is conformed by mostly Black computer science researchers, and they study. Yeah, thank you. Algorithmic Justice League. They make sure and they study research about AI that is biased against, in a specific race. In this case, of Black Americans or Asian Americans, and I think it's one of the most important organizations I've found while I'm studying computer science. It's the only one that's formed by mostly Black people, and I feel like it's important that we have a sit on the table where we can be at the same level and creating the technologies that controls the world, basically. Yeah, my work is like combined with my studies and at the same time with my hobbies, the things I like, science fiction to facts. And if you go back to the older series of Afronet, the second one I made, thank you. Yeah, the second one I made is from one of my favorite movies called Dune, and I recreated using processing some of the scenes of the movie and the planets and the spaceships, and the description is codified in the script that I created myself. It's not difficult to decode, but it just takes time. And the reason why I wrote this way is because I want collectors and anyone that goes into my page to like research further, and if they really have interest, they'll come back at me with the answers, like what I'm trying to say in the description. It does have meaning. It's not just like points, and it's not Morse code. It's something I created myself. Yeah, I was really proud of this one, and it also has sound. One of my favorite sound designs, actually, it's guitars. Thank you. Yeah, that's one of my favorite sound designs. I was created by someone really special in my life. If you scroll down, you can see the sound designer in the description. Is it there? Oh, oh yeah, it's there. No, it's sound by Non-Spoken. This is from my ex-partner. We went separate ways during the first weeks of NFTs, and it was for different reasons. But yeah, we're still friends, and we still keep contact with each other, and like that's why some of these mints are very, very special, and it just holds memories of like relationships and more. This was collected by Crypto Starseed. He's an amazing friend. He became an advocate of mine after like the first few months, and he continues to do so. He's just really, really amazing friend. If you go back to, yeah, I just wanted to talk about the last one of Afronet Runners. This one is based on me. This is me in the background, looking at the computer, using the webcam. I think this one, I created the sound for this one. I can play it. I was using Orca. It's a esoteric language which you can create music with. Pretty fun. Thanks. So yeah, my friends and everyone was like really into this, and like that was the first time I connected with the Flamingo DAO, which are also really they're advocates of my works as well, and yeah, it just felt really special to be collected by a DAO for the first time, and something that I made wholly by myself. I wanted to show you the language I created the sound with. It's called Orca. If you can search it on Google, ORCA. Just Google it. Orca esoteric language. Yeah. Hard to find sometimes. Then this will show the GitHub, but I'd rather show just yeah, if you go to 100 Rabbits, yeah, that one. That shows examples, and like, if you click on the first one, you can see like how the sound is structured. It's very visual. I love this. I love playing with this. It's just really, 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 really fun. And I think everyone can learn it. So I hope after this, like, if anyone has questions of it, like, just let me know. Message me. Thank you. Yeah. Going back to my works, I think that was the last one of the Afronet series. Oh yeah, if you go to Instagram, sorry, go scroll down a little. Scroll down more and more until you find a circle. Not that down. That one. This is, if you remember, in the Afronet Runners 2, that was part of the whole thing, and this is very special a way to connect my work, because I always correlate it with my childhood, with my family. I made this out of the colors from each image. If you swipe right, yeah, you can see the colors from my sweatshirt. That's my little brother. That was my dad. Uh, yeah, just childhood memories. My family back in the day. I'm a 90s girl, by the way. Uh, yeah, the description shows my ASI planet, which is made out of comfort items. And I correlated it with a computer science terminology, which is about the context that everything is based on some model, and it's say that the model has been initiated or instantiated. And in practice, this instance usually has a data structure in common with other instances, but the values stored in the instances are separate. And this is just a way to juxtapose that I'm no longer with my father. He passed away when I was 14. But somehow we're still together through like the work I make and that using my memories to imprint, everything I have from those times. And make sure like just archive everything. Like if you look at my Instagram, it's just full of like highlights, and I just keep archiving things as I continue to do research, experiment, create. Yeah, I just wanted to show you that real quick. Thank you. Yeah, we can just keep scrolling down my Instagram so you can see how I structure it. It's for me, it's like a giant collage. Somehow I managed to like make everything kind of with each other. For example, here where I'm taking the photo, it looks like I'm taking a photo of a mushroom on the bottom. And I didn't plan that, but somehow it just looks like that. It looks like I'm a miniature self, like taking a photo of like, nature. And I love Zelda. These are I participated in the Shibuya Tokyo screening and one Times Square New Year's Eve party, which was the first one using VR because of the COVID. And yeah, that was really, really cool because they built that from scratch. They took like 6 months to build it, I guess. And yeah, it was like the first one from my country to go into something like this. Also, the Shibuya Tokyo screening, if you go a little bit, yeah, they invited me to show some of my works, favorites. I love kinetic typography. And yeah, I had the opportunity to showcase this one in Tokyo. That was right in New Year's Eve. And I edited like a film noir. I just love like the black and white mixed with the, like Sin City colors. Thank you for showing this one. Um, you can keep scrolling and until like if anyone has any comments or questions, feel free to unmute and just ask. That'll be great. Oh, I really love this one, like the third one on the right. If we can play it. Not the video. Underneath. Yeah, that one too. But I'm using the sound of Hacks and Clock here. If you can unmute the video. It headphones to really get this sound properly, but it's really intense. It has a really Yeah, thank you. I love low frequency sounds. Adore low frequency sounds. It's just another level, another layer. Um, Experimental music I love. And there was another video I wanted to show you. Sometimes I do some video editing, like on top of that. Yeah, right there. Oh, no. That one's cool too. This one I made with sounds of the rain. I just recorded my window, and I created a program that recognizes this and creates this audio reactive patterns with sound of rain. This is the one I wanted to show from one of my favorite movies. If you swipe right, you can see the other half. If you swipe right, you can see the other half, which I edited. That's just repeating itself. Thanks. Yeah, I really love electronic music too and industrial techno. I just like almost everything I make has some sort of like sound. This is from the Creative Cold Art Festival I made last year. It's just a poster, but I that's how I started with events and like yeah, it shows the participant artists. I'm hoping to do another one this year. Lots of artists from Iran. I have many friends there. My co-founder of Creative Cool Art is from Iran, and yeah, I remember I just call many Latinos because in new media and generative art, like there's not much for presentation visibility, so I try to make the events full of them. If you go to my page, Creative Cold Art is right there on Instagram, or I think you have the tab open. Yeah, thanks. It's grown so much. I started growing more when I started making these events and calling artists. But yeah, it grew from like 40,000 to this much, and since October last year. And this is an artist-led community. I have two groups, one in Discord and one on Facebook, which is like full of artists, and they share their work. We share software, we share anything. We are friends, and that helps a lot with my creation. I curate the entire page. I try to make it as I curate my own page. Try to connect things with another, silhouettes with structures that looks like buildings, and yeah, I barely shared myself there, only until recently, but I was also anonymous. Like I wasn't showing my name at all or showing that this was my page for 4 years, and it felt good that way. I felt like free to just share without having to, you know, I could focus better that way in the anonymous side. That's one of my favorite videos, and the one in the center is from Ruben Fro. He's an amazing visual artist, Italy. He's living in Tokyo. He can play with sound. Thanks. Yeah, he's an amazing visual artist. Very, I feel like he should get more recognition for what he does, but I try to share his work regularly. He creates this like sci-fi scapes using code, using shaders, and I think it's Unity that what he uses, or Unreal. I think it's Unity. Yeah, it's amazing. You're going back to the page, like you can visit it anytime and ask me about the works I share there. I recently shared some like big achievements on generative art, like the ones on the top from Art Blocks, which is the project that creates art on chain. This is from Casey Reyes. Oh, okay, Art Blocks. Art Blocks is a project that lets computer artists like create art, generative art on chain. Every time a collector hashes the token, the art changes, and you can see some of my favorite artists in France there. Dimitri Cherniak's Ringers, Kegani again. And it just sold today for 80,000 on Sotheby's, which is just like, I think it's the first time generative art sells for this much in like a big auction house like this. And Casey Reyes, he is the creator of the programming language processing, which Art Blocks used to create the project, and like millions of like programmers uses since like the 2000s. He's a pioneer in generative art, and yeah, his artwork sold for 50,000 too. Very well deserved. Yeah, I'm really happy that generative art is getting all this recognition. This Dreaming at Dusk is I think you know this one. It's the one I made for the Tor project, the beat maps. Yep, you can play that one. I made the sound for it too. Yeah, I minted this in Foundation, and like I hijacked their logos and stuff. But yeah, Dreaming at Dusk. This is like the one that changed things around for me. I was contacted by Tor project last month around the 18th, and they just love one of my artworks. I'll show you after. And they said they wanted to create a piece with an emerging artist. Like, even though I have this page, I consider myself an emerging artist because I haven't been sharing my work there all the time. I keep it like very neutral and democratic. I share everyone's work, and I've been growing just like everyone else. And I'm mostly creative for myself. So they saw this. They saw that I guess a person that needed more visibility in the space, and the person that contacted me was from Argentina. We spoke Spanish. They were very kind, and they gave me this opportunity to create an artwork with the cryptographic key of the page they created 15 years ago for Tor. I'm not sure if you have that up. We will be able to see the actual page. If not, it's okay. These are screenshots from that page too. And yeah, this was collected by Pleaser DAO for $2 million. And I also want to recognize Jesse Powell. Like, he pushed the auction this far as well. And Jesse Powell is the CEO of Kraken, and one of the largest crypto exchanges in the world. And yeah, it was really surreal to be messaged by them and being congratulated. And Tor wrote down an article about why they contacted me too. I think that's the one. even though this happened, it's crazy that big media has basically ignored it happen. And I recently got an interview here in Panama with national TV, which recognized this. But, so far it's just like, I guess the war between NFTs and the traditional world that doesn't want to recognize that this is happening and it changes people's lives. And for me, Tor is really important because it's Nike could have contacted me and they could have made millions, but I wouldn't be so proud of like just creating something for Nike. But creating something for Tor is different because it actually helps people. And for example, like reporters or journalists working in dangerous places like Iran or, the borders in South America, Colombia, which recently had like really bad conflict happening and like people disappearing. And people disappears because the government is surveilling them, right? And the forces that rule us. So Tor is I think is the only one of the only ones and the most secure web browsers where you have complete anonymity. You're completely anonymous, and you can, share information and write articles without being basically killed. And that's one of the main uses of it for me, right? Obviously, there's many more uses, but you can also do that in Google or anything. And they donated part of the proceeds to grassroots organizations in the South. Some of the proceeds will be, if you scroll down, you can see what the proceeds are used for. Some of the proceeds will be used for upgrading from version 2 to version 3. Another fact of this cryptographic key and the first page they made is that it's no longer going to exist and in fall. So it's going to be basically burnt, and the only proof of this token will be my art. And that's something that really attracted the people of DAO because they're huge nerds like all of us, and I feel like, besides helping all of these causes, it's just like very attractive token. Yeah.
This is amazing.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Oh, go ahead, Matthew.
Oh no, I was about to thank Ixchels for sharing her wonderful story and her art with all of us. And yeah, Trippy, I think that's probably what you're going to do too.
Yeah, the story is amazing. It's a beautiful thing, the inspiration behind the art and everything you've done. Thank you so much for sharing your passion and everything you've put out so far in the community. And yeah, we really look forward to seeing what else is around the corner.
Thank you. I didn't notice the time. Thank you for listening. I've been rambling here for like 35 minutes now. But yeah, this is the thing that changed my life and changed my family's life. I'm from a small town in Latin America, away from the city, and this whole thing just keeps like opening opportunities for me and those around me. Like I get messages from people in Central America and other places telling me they're an inspiration. I just wanted to say, like, I don't want people to think like this is the goal to make like 2 million. No, like I'd rather have a sustainable long-term growth and not being like this like one-hit wonder. You know what I mean? And I think from the very first token I sold, I've been excited and happy, and I know that this has changed lives, and I want to keep just doing that and growing just like everyone else around me, and keep supporting the community. So yeah, feel free to reach out and share with me, and I'm here. Thank you for having me, guys. It's really nice. It's the first time I think I talk about my work this way.
Awesome. Really love to hear it. Thank you so much. Eggshells. And if anyone wants to follow her, make sure you go on Twitter, hit up at IX_SHELLS and give her a follow. Thank you so much. But now, if you didn't know, this is Matthew talking, and the WIP is back this week. I think everyone made it back from sunny Miami, safe and sound. It was absolutely an epic week last week. Big shout out to the WIP crew, WIP fam, that were able to meet up in real life in Miami. Elbow, Easy, Rizzle. It was awesome doing the WIP together. I feel like that's just a prelude to what it's going to be like, hopefully next year in Vegas when everyone meets up in real life and we have like a real life version of the WIP. So keep your ear open for updates on that. But today we're at a beautiful, beautiful parcel in CryptoVoxels, courtesy of Horace. If you're not in CryptoVoxels, please get in there. I snapped a whole bunch of selfies. We're floating above Josie's garden, which is in the middle of Horace's apartment complex, and it's gorgeous. There's rainbows, there's clouds, there's green foliage. It's an excellent spot for a WIP. And we have some great speakers joining us today. We have Ethlings coming in. We have Big Bagels and Red Death joining us, talking about their customizable NFT project that, if you're on Twitter, I'm sure you've heard mention of. Really excited to hear about that. We have Anoymous Nobody joining us once again, talking about his NFTeachers.eth campaign. Really, really amazing stuff happening there. And then we have the non-fungible human himself, Russ Franky, coming back to the WIP. So not much more to say than that epic lineup. I'll let Riz do his thing and get everyone on the hype train. So, Rizzle, do your thing, dude.
Thank you, man. Everyone can hear me all right?
Yep.
I hear something. Yeah, right on. Yes, everyone should jump into CV. We're going to try and do the thing that we've been normally doing at the end of the last few WIPs, where we take a group shot and let Paradox do his thing. Yeah, can we get a CV link drop? It's in the event links. I've been dropping it. Actually, while we're dropping things, I'll drop. Yeah, thanks, Matt. Let's see. While you're doing that, the channel right below this, you'll have plenty of time. In the Cypher channel, we'll do the big WIP drop. Should have 30 minutes if I didn't mess up the bot, which I didn't. High five me. So you got time to scoop that up. We are in the process of discussion of, rebooting the whole WIP token concept store and everything in the future, now that gas prices are falling and it actually is economically viable to start giving you guys some cool stuff from the WIP store in exchange for the WIP tokens that you've been scooping up. So WIP swag and all types of swag. We're in contact with Syncos. I don't know if he's in the audience. Hopefully he's in his sweatshop cranking out wearables for us and not here so that we can load up the store. And so the people who have been scooping up the WIP tokens, make sure you guys are hanging on to those. They will have some purpose at some point, probably. I mean, we're not going anywhere, so we might as well figure something out, right? And then the happening happened. There's going to be like other happenings and things, and so yes. So make sure you scoop that up. Let's see, dope lineup today. Russ Franky ditched us in Miami, so we made sure we brought him on the WIP today so we could confront him virtually over his abandonment of the crew in Miami. No, all good. We love Russ, and he's like a long-time friend of the WIP and of the space, but yeah, can't. Oh, look at that. WIP photo coordinates on CV. Yo, love that, Alex, dude. Guest book, yes, sign the guest book, get the WIP coin, do things. I traded my hallucinating squirrel in for the octopus that I got this week. I felt like I could train it to ride the caterpillar, so that's what I'm going for this week. And that way, there's a little bit more space for people to, be able to see past me and everything. I just roll with big animals. Shout out to Easy, the Cypher. They're back on TokenSmart later this afternoon. Bullish, bearish. We got Jax, I believe, later this evening. Obviously, big shout out to the WIP crew, the Bot Squad, Easy, Paradox, Trippy, Show, Timmy, Tubador, Frankie Needles, Alex, Guts Berserk, GB, Grev, Conwolf, Carolina Dud, Dragonate, obviously Trizlet, Quigbell, Sandy, the Meow Meow. still helping out behind the scenes in the Meow office when nobody even knows what's going on. Things are going on in the Meow office. So, thank you guys, everybody, so much. It's a wacky community that we pull this off every week. So make sure you get in. Seriously, you guys, I don't know if you've been seeing the videos that Paradox has been putting together, but like, get in these videos. They're like some epic stuff. And now Paradox is like re-releasing some of the old epic ones because he's going full-time crypto. So even if you're naked and your anonymous is above your name, like, if you're standing next to somebody, you'll know it was you, and we'll know it was you. So hop in and do the thing with us. It's just a click for people who are just listening on Discord. So cool. With that, who we got on the mic first here? I gotta get around my octopus so I can see the billboard here. We got Ethlings. If Ethlings is out there, I just fell all the way down to the ground, so now I gotta find my way back up. Somebody take the mic away from me.
Hey, this is Reddy from Ethlings. Everyone hear me?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Thank you all for having us today. Really happy to be here. And we've got Big Bagels here as well.
Hey guys, what's going on?
We can kick it off, I think, with a quick intro on ourselves and open up for questions. But some background on us, we are a two-person team of people who really just focus on NFT tech. We actually come from DeFi, and our whole goal has been looking at the industry and trying to figure out what's not being built and how can we build it. I think that, we've seen a couple months of a lot of really exciting projects built on top of 721, 1155, people thinking more and more about what NFTs can do. And we really just wanted to dive in and say, how can we take it to the next level? And I think that our first... What was that? Our first big question was, what can you do with digital art that you can't do with physical art?
There's a speech again that is your useless presidents.
Sounds like we got some noise in the background.
Get him, man. We got an expert of whackers. We'll just gotta scroll through all these people.
No worries. So the question really had was, what can you do with digital art that you can't do with physical art? And to us, the obvious answer was you can have it interact with each other. The joke we kind of tell is you would never, do a mashup of the Mona Lisa and Starry Nights physically because you would ruin the original pieces. But with digital art, you don't really have that problem. You have a lot more flexibility. And so Bagels and I took our technology background and made what we believe to be kind of the first completely customizable NFTs. You own your Ethling, you own the wearables on it, and you actually alter and edit your Ethling on the blockchain. You decide what it's going to wear, you decide how it's going to look, complete flexibility built into kind of a interesting tokenomics model. And I know Bagels is going to drop some screenshots of what this looks like in the chat, but that's really the catalyst of what Ethlings is and why we built it. Bagels, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, thank you for that, Red. I think what I would add is that we see this as a really nice way for collectors to interact with artists and to be able to customize their own art on the blockchain. And what we've seen is that because people can customize their Ethling and bring together art from multiple different artists on a single piece, it's created this really nice interaction in the community where there's a closeness between the collectors and the artists involved. And we look forward to bringing on many more artists and continuing to see those interactions.
And, we know that we've brought forward what I believe is one of the most complex NFT products out there. We've got everything from, what we call escrowed NFT merging to actual bonding curves with reserves. We've got ERC20 tokens you can use to upgrade your Ethling. We've got farming of those tokens over time. There's a lot of mechanics that people can get really deep into. And I think, I'd love to, open up to the community for any questions about kind of how we think about the future of NFTs, how we think about the technology side of NFTs, because that's where Bagels and I really are focused and kind of being at the forefront of always pushing the boundary of what you can do with these immutable objects.
Awesome. And then, yeah, if anyone in the audience has any questions, make sure you tag Show. He'll relay those questions. But I know Show's coming with his own bag of questions for Ethlings, for Big Bagels and Red ETH. So Show, man, whenever you're ready, hit him with your questions.
Hey, Big Bagels, Red ETH, what's going on, man?
Hey,
Guys,
great.
gentlemen. So since January of this year, there have been a number of projects using the same formula as CryptoPunks, CryptoKitties, and Avastars. You know, avatars or animals that have different colors or traits. You know, some have been hyped to death, some have been rug pulls and shady, and some others have been resurrected from total obscurity to become hidden gems. You know, we can anticipate that there will be many more clones of these trailblazing projects out there. So, truthfully, what separates Ethlings from hash masks, art ratars, moomcats, crypto cats, Bored Ape Yacht Club, Arabian camels, chilmelians, and gutter cats, and all those things? What separates you guys from them?
Yeah, it's a really, really great question. I think really core to everything going on in the NFT sphere. And the first thing I want to say is that we actually don't view these other projects as competitors, not because the products don't compete, but in the sense that, you know, these projects are launching 1,000, 10,000 NFTs. There's a couple billion people in this world. If we believe this industry is actually going to work, believe me, there will be a lot more projects to satisfy the number of consumers who are going to interact with us. So we're NFT maxis. We're not here to say we're better than or worse than anything like that. We're happy to see this space kind of grow and expand. But in terms of kind of objective differences, the way that we think about Ethlings is hopefully it's the last avatar NFT you'll ever need to own. Because when you look at other projects where you know, let's just say you go and you get you manage to get a CryptoPunk wearing a beanie hat, which would be amazing. I mean, Beanie has made a whole persona off of this. What if tomorrow you don't like that beanie hat anymore? Your style becomes more dark, less colorful. You want something a little more muted. That's the way you want to go, how you want to portray yourself on the internet. You can't change that hat. You have to go find a seller of their CryptoPunk that has maybe a more muted tone, and then possibly sell your beanie to recoup the funds. With Ethlings, because you're able to actually take these wearables, change them, set the tone of your presentation on the blockchain, hopefully you won't ever need to trade your Ethling away. Holding it gives you that flexibility forever for the future to be whoever you want to be on the blockchain. And our styles, by working with new artists, we get to launch more wearables that they bring to the platform. So it's not like we pre-prescribe what's out there tomorrow. If tomorrow the trend is people wear, designer lunchboxes, for some reason the blockchain decides that's what's next, we can have 10 artists come to us, each design their own lunchbox, and then make those available for all the Ethlings holders to add to their Ethling retroactively. I think that's the key component of what we wanted to build with Ethlings, was that flexibility, customizability, and, you know, for lack of a better term, future-proof of these NFTs.
That's awesome. We also have a question from Rob PT45. They would like to know, will there be random minting of wearables, or will all wearables be posted on OpenSea from this point forward? I guess in regards to Ethlings, hopefully that's those questions are related to that.
Go for it, Bagels.
Yeah. The way that we actually did our first post-launch wearables drop just this past Sunday night, I believe it was, with 7 different artists, all with varying styles. And you know, as Red was referring to, every user is sort of looking for something different, and we saw a really nice distribution of interest in each of those artists' pieces, which was great to see. The way that we drop wearables is actually within our own web app, so we don't drop them directly onto OpenSea or any other secondary marketplace. It's not to say we wouldn't in the future, but the way that this actually works is we launch wearables on bonding curves, and in particular, a new type of bonding curve that we came up with for the project that expires after a period of time. And the reason that we've done that way is it enables users to decide, you know, on Sunday night, maybe they were loving, purchasing a new hairstyle, or the shroom augmentation that I posted in the chat. Maybe on Wednesday, they decide that they want to allocate their funds to a different piece of art. our bonding curve allows them to sell their art or sell that wearable back to the bonding curve because funds are still available in the reserve, and then they can pick up another piece all in the same transaction. So we're actually looking to, and we have built new tokenomics and new economics into our marketplace that we think is very favorable for our users, and we hope to see other projects implement some similar mechanics as well, and take inspiration from Ethlings having been the first to implement these tokenomics.
And one thing I want to add to that is I think there's a key component here that is when you buy from our marketplace during that bonding curve period, right, where you can buy and return wearables. 95% of proceeds go to the artist that designed that piece of art. 5% goes to the project. We're super transparent about that. But when you're buying these wearables for your Ethling, you're directly supporting the artists in the work that they do. We make sure that their name is plastered all over the title of that thing. So when it shows up on OpenSea or shows up in our marketplace, that artist is getting recognition for the work they're doing to bring more customizability to people, and of course bring their art forward. Because we want to be supporters of so many different styles and so many different people. It was very, very critical as we designed the project.
That's awesome. And Big Bagels, Ready, thank you so much for stopping through the WIP, introducing everyone to this awesome project. And again, I mean, we talked about it before earlier this week. It has so much potential and it's operating on such a long time horizon. Super excited to see the continued development and how folks interact with it. I mean, just seeing a couple members of the WIP fam sharing their own Ethlings, really keen to see them kind of build it out and use it as a metaverse avatar and see what kind of benefits can accrue to it now that you don't need to change from punk to ape and things like that. I think it's a really cool idea. So thank you all.
Yeah, thank you all for the time. And if I can just, leave you all with one last note, this whole thing has been about building for the community. We love being able to share this in these forums. Feel free to reach out, DM us even. We're super responsive. This is a community-grown project. It's only as good as the feedback we get and the ideas that we get from the community. So don't be a stranger. Join our Discord. Follow us on Twitter. We don't bite. We certainly want this to be kind of for the people, by the people, and hope you all enjoy it. So thank you for listening.
Oh yeah.
Thank
and
you for
moving on,
having
we
us,
have
man.
another great.
Really appreciate it.
Oh, our pleasure. And moving on, we have another great speaker. We have Anoymous Nobody coming back to the show, talking about his NFT teacher initiative. So Anonymous, man, if you're here, unmute, take it away and tell us the status of what's going on and how we can help.
Hey, how you guys doing? Can you hear me?
Dude. Yeah, man. Sounds good. Happy to have you here, man.
Thank you for having me. So I started NF Teachers Fund, which is a fund that brings people from the NFT community together to donate to other teachers in our space. We have, I've found about 21 teachers so far, and I have them in a private message that we all discuss different things, and where I keep the group together. So what I'm doing is basically funding from the community to give each teacher $1,000 in ETH to help them with whatever they need in their life, whether it's to buy food, whether it's to take their family out for a fun night, or to buy supplies for their classroom, because teachers spend a lot of their own money on their classroom and their students, and they're pretty underfunded. So what I wanted to do was give these good people that raise our children a little bit of extra cash for their pocket, something to give them or to get them through the summer. So I let's see, it was probably a couple weeks ago, put out my first post to take donations, and I got a pretty good reception. Was able to give a teacher $1,000 and continue on with the project, which has been great. To date, we've given away $8,000 to teachers in the NFT space. and donations continue to roll in daily. We even had a day where I was able to give away $3,000, and that same day I was also a victim of a scammer and lost $1,000 and had to eat that out of my own pocket. But that's the way it goes in this space sometimes, and you just got to kind of pick yourself up and keep going. So I've decided to keep going. I'm still collecting funding for the teachers, and anybody can donate any amount. And when it hits $1,000 in the wallet, I do a drawing on Wheel of Names and pick a teacher and send that money right over. So if anyone wants to donate, the address is nfteachers.eth. And like I said, every $1,000 goes right out of the account and into a teacher's hands.
Amazing. And then what's the minimum for support for this?
Oh, there's no minimum at all. If even if you want to donate less than what it costs to send in gas.
Awesome. Well, I know that the WIP wants to help out with this, so we want to contribute $1,000 out of the WIP treasury. So super honored to be able to support your initiative that you put together here. Anyone else that's in the WIP fam listening in that has any means, like, please do whatever you can. Like, teachers, like Sho was saying, especially in NYC, they're like prison wardens. They're doing the Lord's work, and they really are. They're struggling, right? So any extra help really does go a long way. So I just wanted to say that. And with that, then, Sho, man, hit Anonymous with your questions.
Hey, man, what's going on?
How you doing?
Good. All right, so we have. All right, there's a bunch of questions here. Okay, so let me scroll back. All right, we have a question from Earthman. They would like to know, how do you get teachers, I guess, entered into this program or involved in this group?
So people have been referring them to me, just tagging them on my Twitter. And I'm Anoymous Nobody. The O's in my name are zeros except for in Nobody. So I'm sure you guys could probably figure that out. But people refer them, and I'll vet them. I'll vet their account. I have my own ways of finding out if you're a teacher or not, whether it be through people you know, or whether it just be I have my own means, so I don't have to take any personal information from you, because I know how people are, and they want to stay anonymous for the most part, and I don't want to have people sending me a bunch of information for vetting purposes. So I do my own vetting. I have my own little way of figuring it out, and if I can't figure it out, then I end up messaging the teacher, and I'll figure out a way of vetting without getting personal information from anybody. But yeah, you can hit me up on Twitter, and that's probably the best way. I'm there like 18 hours a day. So if there's any teachers in the NFT space that would like to get on board, just add me, shoot me a message, and I'll get you into the private chat. And once you're into the private chat, you'll be eligible for the drawings. So every time $1,000 comes in, I spin the wheel, it picks a name, and I send that money on over.
That's cool. We have a bunch of questions flying in, but I'm pretty sure you'll be able to circle back and answer them later on in the chat. But the last question is from Hidden Forces. They would like to know, should this project be building an investment account for longer term growth rather than the current fill up the tank method? Investing ETH also?
That would be great. Honestly, I don't have the bandwidth for that. I'm an artist, as you know, and I try and focus most of my energy there. But if anybody wants to jump in and help this out, or continue it, or make it something bigger than it is, I'm all ears. Feel free to message me. And I'm not opposed to handing the entire project off. It's just something I wanted to do to get some money into teachers' hands, and really anyone can do this. So, for my purposes, I'm keeping it easy as far as, to fill up the tank, empty the tank. But if anyone else wants to, spearhead this and make it into something bigger, I'm all for that. This isn't just, my project. It could be the entire community's project.
Awesome. Yeah, and we just sent that payment out, so it should have landed. Hopefully we sent it to the right NFT teachers. .eth. I know
Thank you.
It's a bad joke. Yeah, man. But Anonymous, thank you for doing this. And if anyone in the community wants to support Anoymous Nobody with this, yeah, definitely step up to the plate. This is one of those things where more hands are definitely better. Yeah, and keep tagging him if you have any extra questions. But Anonymous, man, thank you so much for hopping up on the WIP stage once again. Happy your mic was 100% perfect this time. So
Me too. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for the donation to the teachers.
Love it, man. Cool. Well, moving on, we have the non-fungible human himself, Russ Franky. Hopefully he doesn't ditch us and not show up to the WIP today. But Russ, man, if you're here, unmute yourself and tell us what you got cooking up. Dude, did he seriously ditch us? Rizzo, man, hit us with it. What's the down low dirty truth?
Yo, dude, I don't know. Yeah, right? Russ is like permanently sauced after this one. Russ, are you out there, dude? I don't see him in the thing either. I don't know. Right? Brinkman, this is some long play on Russ. His clone's kidnapped in Miami. Oh, dude.
He's officially blacklisted from the WIP.
Yeah.
Russ, are you there?
I don't see him, man. I don't see him in the voice channel. Tell you what, man, why don't we get people into crypto voxels for this group shot? We'll pass it over to Paradox. Yeah, right. Page this motherfucker. I'll hit up us with a DM. We'll get people into crypto voxels, do a group shot. Do not follow Russ on Twitter at all until he shows up here. Otherwise, we'll see what happens. But yo, Paradox, man, you want to instruct us in a group shot here while we can drop a CV link, get people in here, and I'll spread some haterade over on Russ while we're doing that and see if I can get him in here.
Amazing. Can you hear me?
Yeah, dude.
Big shout out.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Right, let's make the most of this amazing rainbow that's here, shall we? So guys, if you are in Crypto Voxels, fly on down to the rainbow, and I'm going to get a group shot of everybody floating in front of it. Let's have a look. Could have been more prepared and got some music sorted out. But I think everyone's pretty responsive today. Okay, right, let's check I'm recording. Guys, I am just on the far side of the parcel, so make sure you're in front of the rainbow, if that makes sense. So not on the parcel, just off the parcel. I'm the big blue guy, if you can see me. Okay, most people.
Did we face you?
Good. Yes, please. Okay, right. Follow the crowd, guys.
Okay.
Okay, if you can stand as close to the rainbow as possible, that'd be amazing. Then I can get my shot. Okay, right. Well, 10 more seconds, and then we'll take the image or the video. Beautiful.
Take the image.
Well, I'm taking hundreds of images technically, so I'm doing video. Cool. Now, let's do a second one. If everyone fly down to the ground, and we'll get some awesome little bit of video underneath these trees. Like right in the middle of the parcel, please. Ten more seconds for everybody to get down. Nearly there. Cool, right. And if you can, throw on some dance moves.
Yeah, big shout out to Horace, who is standing next to me in some sick wearable swag, by the way, for building the garden and the surrounding apartment complex. Super dope for hosting us.
Dude, who is the robot or the transformer or whatever it is?
Where are you seeing that?
I don't know, who's up there? Is that you, Elbow? For real?
Dang.
Yo, who made that?
Okay, I'm just going to do one last fly through the crowd, and then I'm done. Amazing. Right, that is me done. Thank you very much.
Well,
Very cool.
dude,
Did we manage to get Russ on the horn?
Dude. No, well, I don't know. We may have just like permanently sauced him. I don't think this has ever happened before. I don't know. What do we even do? Does anyone want to like give a presentation about something they got going on?
Someone needs to make a milk carton and put Russ Franky's avatar on the side and be like, where the hell
write
is
some
Russ?
trash
He's
art.
missing. Trash art.
You're right. Russ is fired. Yo, seriously, the Russ jokes will not stop. I actually have a lot of love for Russ, which makes it even better that I can really dig into him for this one. But yes, we should. Yeah, dude, I think it is the first time this has ever happened. Unless anyone really wants to do like a hot potato presentation, I don't know if this has ever happened before, and it may never happen again, but here's your opportunity if you want to hop on the mic for like 3 minutes to shill your project and get interrogated by show, totally off the cuff on the whip. Yes, seize the day. What is it? Something? Yo, BB Studios, that's like a legit thing that's been going on that I think is like, something people would be really interested in, man. You want to talk about that?
Hey, yeah, how's it going?
What's up, dude?
Oh, pretty good. It was like such a huge controversy, and it still is. And unfortunately, I had a business call last week, and I missed the town hall that I was supposed to go to kind of back up my arguments against weighted voting.
Can you give people some context who may not be like totally familiar with the controversy?
So there was no controversy for the longest time because there was a working DAO for Decentraland, but for the longest time the problem was you had to use ETH to vote. So nobody was voting on anything because the gas was so freaking high, right? So once they finally got everything switched over to Matic, all of a sudden you could actually vote on the DAO. So you get votes by either having land or having mana at the moment. And people who have land, like estates, have like a disproportionate amount of voting power, like a ridiculously disproportionate centralized amount of voting power. So they basically can shoot down any proposal or push through any proposal they want, regardless of how many little guys like me that only own one plot think about the subject. And so I think that's a big problem. I submitted a proposal to get BB Studios and Artist Hour on the main map as a point of interest. And it got shot down by like 2 whales when I got like, seriously, I had like 20 plus yes votes, and then it got shot down by 2 whales. So yeah, it's not cool. And they basically passed another resolution. I resubmitted, and they kind of just let me go through, probably because they interpreted me not showing up to that town hall as just like, go along, get along. And so they just let my proposal go through. But then they got a proposal passed the very next day that says you have to have a minimum of 500,000 voter points to get a point of interest proposal passed. Or even considered. Yeah, you have to have 500,000 for it to get considered. And then on top of that, for the grants, you have to have 1 million voting points to get the grants. So none of us little guys are ever going to get grants for content generation. Like, we're just never going to do it. Like, I got a ton of people to vote for me. I think I made it up to like 79,000 votes. And, there's no way you're getting 1 million. It's just not going to happen unless you have a whale on your side. That's it. Yeah, it does sound familiar to something easy. So I was like, hey, you guys, I'm just like seriously fucking close to putting in a proposal to change the name of Decentraland to Centraland.
Shots fired.
Like, I'm seriously considering it. I will do it if they don't honor their point of interest, because they still haven't put us up. And I'm like, hey, what's the problem, guys? It's just a little, I told you what I wanted to say. Like, it should be up there. Other people's point of interest have been put up there quicker than mine. They claim it's going to take a week, so I'm going to give them 1 week. And if they don't put it up, because technically my proposal passed before their BS proposal did. So if their DAO operates the way they say it operates, they should have to put my point of interest up for BB Studios Artist Hour on TokenSmart. They should have to put that up regardless of this second, restraining proposal passing. And I still think that proposal's bullshit.
All right.
Sure, man.
Hey,
You want to hit him with some questions?
yeah, definitely. I mean, I just wanted to let that pause reverberate. I wanted people to really feel where BB Studios is coming from. Hey man, what's going on? How you feeling? All right. So let me just say that I saw this exchange play out on Twitter. It seemed like everybody was chiming in on this. Everybody from you, Juxton, DCL Maddie, I think Jason X, like a ton of people were all hopping in on this because it seemed like once it went down, the entire Decentraland server was going nuts and people were just pissed off. They were also, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just, just one more detail. When they had the town hall, they had it in Decentraland, which I thought was cool. I was like, this is cool. This is I dig this, that we're having a town hall discussion. But what they do? They didn't make the audio available on Decentraland or their Discord channel. They didn't do it on their freaking own Discord channel. What did they do? They had the discussion on Twitch. So I wasn't a member of Twitch, so I had to freaking watch ads in the middle of the discussion every 5 minutes. And I couldn't call in, and a lot of people that were in Decentraland couldn't comment because it was in Twitch. I think they did that on purpose. Personally. So I just wanted to add that detail.
All right, so okay, let's just let's build off of that right there. So I have a question, obviously, for you. If you feel like this was intentional, right? Would you say that things like this are the cause for the reason why Decentraland has not hit the it hasn't achieved the promises that it may have made to people over the years? It's not as successful as it should have been. It's not a massive place where there's real world adoption and also crypto world adoption. It hasn't really lived up to its promises, would you say?
Well, I think another detail that is tangential to this answer is, I don't know how many people are aware that Grayscale, are you aware of Grayscale, the company?
For the sake of this, sure, yeah, whatever, yeah.
It's a company that's on the OTC, just under NASDAQ, and they give regular stock traders exposure to Bitcoin and other digital assets. Well, Grayscale opened up a trust for Mana to the tune of like $1 billion. So there's some serious freaking money behind DCL.
But all right, but in relation to my question, you having the artist hour, people attempting to launch things on Decentraland and then being inhibited by two people, let's say that was represented by Grayscale and BlackRock. I actually do know about this, but I'm going to play stupid just for the sake of this conversation. Sure. Let's say they were the two whales who felt like this thing didn't fit into what their overall vision is of what a decentralized metaversal platform should be. How do you feel about that?
Well, okay. I think at the end of the day, you touched on the fact that at the end of the day, it's all about adoption. And there's glaring differences between CryptoVoxels and Decentraland. CryptoVoxels lets you go in without a MetaMask. That right there is a huge, huge barrier to adoption, right? So they need to work on stuff like that. But then when it comes to straight content should be rewarded above all else, in my opinion. when you're trying to drive adoption of these types of metaverses. Because the worst thing you can do for a user experience is to have just nothing. And you go right now, and I called these people out too. They're the Koenig Gallery. I had quite a spat with them on Twitter as well. They're our neighbors. They came in right during the height of the NFT bubble, and they bought up a bunch of land right south of us, and they put up a really cool looking, example of their real world museum in Germany, contemporary art museum. And they had one auction, and it was successful. It was right during the whole hype, but they almost didn't even have it because the neighbor crashed his scene like a day before their auction, and I was the one that had to go around and get it fixed. I hit up Decentraland on their Discord. They didn't give a fuck. They were like, we can't do anything. So I had to go hit up the neighbor, which I luckily knew because I met him in Decentraland and had a conversation and got his Twitter account. So I luckily knew his account and got a hold of him, got him to fix it. So pretty much Bake.eth and I single-handedly saved their first auction. And then after their auction's done, what do? They collect all their money. There's no content up there at all. It's been blank walls for like 6 weeks. And that's not a good user experience. And that does not drive adoption.
All right. Okay. I'll keep this super brief just for the sake of time or whatever. But okay, why is it you stepping up to the plate and being a hero if there is a DAO?
I'm not being a hero. I'm just saying their DAO, the voting, someone else suggested quadratic voting, which sounds they said that it's already doable. There's already stuff on GitHub that you can do. And it sounds, the way it was described to me, it sounds very fair. And the fact that you can't overpower other people's votes with just money. So I would suggest that, or I will suggest that later today when I go back to the town hall. But the thing is, man, sometimes people just don't take a hard enough look at these things and realize it. And when I call people out, usually on this stuff, I tend to be right, and I tend to get, I got kicked out of Ethereum Name Services server, Discord server, the first week I was on Discord because they announced they were going to integrate ENS services for all the DNS existing domains. I was like, cool, can I have my money back for all my ENS domains I bought? And I threatened a class action lawsuit. They just kicked me right out of the server. But they kicked me out once people started agreeing with me. So, whatever. They were like, yeah, people in the server, these were like devs in the ENS server. They were like, yeah, I'd like to join the lawsuit. But I can't help but point stuff out like that sometimes. And people a lot of times don't realize until somebody points it out. And I see these things, I have to point it out. So.
Yeah, and thanks for sharing this with us, and thank you for stepping up to the plate when Rizzle put out that hot potato speaker slot. Like I was telling him, like we had a lemon, we turned it into lemonade thanks to BB Studios. So thanks for sharing, man.
No problem. Happy to anytime.
Cool. So before we segue into the afties, that time of the week where a show berates everyone and we all laugh and cry at the same time, I pass the mic to Rizzle for some closing words.
I believe the quote is when you're given rotten cheese, you make cheese lemonade or something like that, something close to that. Someone can correct me. Yeah, it's easy. Something like that, right? When life gives you rotten cheese, you make cheese lemonade. Yes, no, but it's good. It's the best kind of lemonade. So, I don't have anything. Happy to turn the mic over to show. We did the group shot. We sort of like flip-flop the order of all the things, but that's how we get down. It's a great WIP. Awesome to see everyone hanging out in World. I don't have like any super vested interest in like any of these worlds, and I feel like if we pile into one of these places and break them all, they're all pretty fun. But I do love to talk shit on stuff, so it's always nice to have someone up here willing to stir the pot. That being said, speaking of people to stir the pot, unless we got anyone else, Sandy, if you want to hop on the mic real quick, no pressure or anything if I missed anything, but I know we got a couple Additional events going on. In addition to Cypher, Bullish, Bearish, Jack's Hideaway tonight. I know the intro to music drop, I believe, is at noon tomorrow on top of Netuno and Chill. We got Eclectic Method a little bit later on in the afternoon at 3 o'clock time slot, and I think I got all the things. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. Otherwise, Show can grab this big spoon and keep stirring the pot.
Wait, Sandy?
Sandy, pull up Russ. Sandy and Russ are hanging out in Miami without us. No, I'm just kidding, Sandy.
All right, it's cool. All right, I'll just start. But hey, Rizzle, I'm not grabbing anyone's big spoon. Nothing, man. What kind of setup is that? What is going on? What is?
With BB Studios just showed up with a big spoon and like hopped on the mic, and so I don't know. Now I grabbed it from him, passing it over to you.
All right, cool. All right, y'all. So my voice is like this. Turn down your speakers, your headphones, your volume just a bit, and then you can kick it back up later on. Whatever you do, don't server deafen. Yeah, like later, don't server deafen. Please don't. I don't want you to get like kicked out of the server or anything like that for you. And trust me, I yell and scream, but it's intentional. It's on purpose, and I'm controlling the octaves within my vocal cords. I'm special. I am different. All right, yeah. Oh yeah, Juxton. Shout out to Juxton. He knows what it is. He knows the vibes. All right, y'all. Yeah. 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 Yeah, baby. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. If I could take Carlos, whatever his name is, from BitConnect and bottle him up and sell him like sodas or something like that, I'd be rich for DeFi Summer 2.0. Whatever the inverse or converse is of the BitConnect scream, this is it. Oh yeah, baby. WIP fam, wake up, baby. Wake up. Wake up, WIP fam. Oh yeah, let's get it. You know how the WIP. Hey man, listen. You could turn up your volume right now. We're super consistent here, man. At the WIP, all right. When things randomly happen, this is what we do. We make what did Rizzle say? We make lemonade out of rotten cheese. We ferment it in the sun or some shit like that. Whatever genius thing that Rizzle just said, I'm trying to copy it. Oh my gosh, shout out to Rizzle, right? Listen, man, when we're left at the altar like the gorgeous ass brides that we are, when we're trying to get married for the 5th time, and we make do, when we have grooms like Russ Franky leave us waiting at the altar, we just keep it fucking rolling, right? And we talk shit at the after party with BB Studios, right? We talk shit about how we were left at the altar. We start just having a good ass time and partying. That's what we do, baby. Oh yeah. All right. So that being said, here's the intro to the Acties. We're gonna kick this shit off. Shout out to everybody who's here in Crypto Voxels and also in Discord, and you'll be listening to this in the future on Twitch somehow, some way. Dragonate records a bunch of shit. Shout out Dragonate, right? And Paradox too, by the way, and the rest of the crew. All right, there seems to be a concerted effort by consortiums and conglomerates, right, consisting of centralized banks and affluent government officials that are shouting down crypto and spreading FUD. Normally, like every normal person, right? Just like everybody here at the WIP fam, all you, right? I enjoy things spread all over my body. Like all of you. I know you love to spread things through every single crevice on your body, same, right? But this is something that I do not want spread. I don't want their fear. I don't want their uncertainty. I don't want their doubt spread in this space. The only thing I want spread, the only thing I want to travel The only thing I want to erupt and flow is lava. Why lava? Because we are now mining crypto directly from volcanoes in El Salvador, motherfuckers. We're mining crypto directly from a fucking volcano to solve the FUD that was introduced by centralized banks to discredit fucking Bitcoin mining that's apparently destroying the ozone layer, but it's not, right? As if fossil fuels didn't exist in the first place beforehand, used by other things. We're mining shit with the eco something mentality, something in a smart something way, motherfuckers. Speaking of something smart ways, welcome to the Athletes, man. Brought to you live right now from this volcano we call the WIP fucking Meetup. If you're brand new and you don't know who the hell is yelling and screaming, hi, I'm Sho. If you don't know, you will know by the end of this who the hell I am, right? This is the Athletes. This is the segment of the WIP where you've had 3 awesome presenters. Well, actually, technically 2 and a special, right, at the tail end there, right? Give awesome presentations, right? They talk to you about their projects. They gave you in-depth insight and analysis and all these other awesome things that make you want to go out and buy their shit. It's awesome. It's great. You sat here, you listened. Now is your opportunity to provide your opinions on what you heard. This is what this is all about. This is what the Athletes is about. You have a incredibly stupid and crazy and psychotic and loud, dumbass voice yelling and screaming, providing you a platform for you to provide your extremely intelligent, well thought out opinions on what you just heard. I am the big, bullish, dumb head in the room, while you are the small, concise, and extremely intelligent and talented voice and small. Well, I'm the small brain. You're the big brain. And you're going to provide big brain insight in regards to these awesome presenters and their stuff. Instead of you running off on Twitter and having arguments like BB Studios, shout out to BB Studios for causing trouble, right? Instead of you running off to Twitter and having long tirades, right? Or hopping into Discord servers and then being kicked out for expressing your opinion, you can use this time to express your hot take or opinion. Phrase your opinion in the form of a hot take or an opinion, and maybe possibly I may respond, maybe not. I don't fucking know. Who knows? Goddammit, it's the Athletes. All right, here's the first subject, y'all. I'm looking at everybody here. What's up to all these sexy motherfuckers in here? Oh yeah, I see all of you. I see you. Oh, it is all swamp ass in your computer chair right now. I see that. Shout out to all the swamp asses in the building. Speaking of swamp ass, right? Me having to wait for crypto drops has provided too much swamp ass. Just sitting on my computer waiting for the clock to tick in order for me to buy into these collectibles, right? Ethlings is up. Shout out to the Ethlings crew. I did love that project. My hot take is unrelated to them specifically. It is a general thing, which is for everyone here, just so you know, it's never targeted, right? Just like last week I was talking about digital publications and venture capitalists. I wasn't attacking outlier ventures, just so you know. They're not paying me to say this right now either, but I just want to know it's not direct attacks. These are blanketed, and you take from it what you will. Ethlings, right? This is what inspired this hot take. And this is the hot take. Both things, both sides of the coin. I've been having issues lately, man. Maybe some of you can relate, I don't know, where projects seem to have random release dates with either a 5-minute window to buy things or you miss out, gas fees being so high that you can't actually purchase the new hot collectible, broken tech from the actual project itself, or blatant rug pulls from the project, and then a follow-up apology tweet from the team's Twitter account. You're set up for failure, right? And, or you're just being priced out altogether with an imaginary secondary market and tons of overly hyped hype, right? My hot take is that there are no smoke signals from these drops outside of those in the know, to the point where it feels like it's the same group of people creating these same projects under different pseudonyms in order to make money. Most of these projects have the same look and feel as one another. I don't see the value outside of the hype and the FOMO and the quick flip for many of these newer projects this year. My hot take is that I think it's the same motherfuckers changing up their names. They're creating projects, which is dope. It's awesome. But it's the same group of people keeping shit in-house, and they're benefiting by creating the same fucking project over and over again and taking advantage of a willing audience or things like that. Come up, use your thesaurus and figure out another way to say the word audience. Thoughts? What are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts? Think about what I just said. It's a lot. I know, I get it. On this hot summer day. Thoughts? Thoughts, y'all? I need help. Huh? I'm missing out on drops, man. Juxton, say that on the microphone. Yeah, Brian. Hey, Brinkman, man. Like, shout out to Brian Brinkman having awesome drops all the time. Yeah, that is one example. But share that on the microphone.
That was just a fake one I made yesterday. It's not real.
Oh, really? It looks. Hey, listen. With as many drops that are happening, it looks like the shit. It looks like the thing that people missed out on the other day or whatever. It looks. There's so much same, and it feels like it's the same fucking people making this shit, and they're changing their names up.
It's true. It tricked a few people.
It did. Like the release date. I'm not gonna say the project. I don't want to attack anyone, but people know because it was the hottest topic around the Metaverse. Right? These motherfuckers pushed up the release date on some shit that I don't even know. I don't see the value. And plus the coin is not even it's on the blockchain, but it's not really a legit collectible. Oh my God. Jim would be rolling over in his nameless grave right now. It's not on, you mean it's not on the blockchain? It is, but it's not. Jim would be pissed the fuck off. he would tear. Where's Nate Alex? God damn it. This type of like literally I was looking at and he was the first person I thought of. I was like, oh my God, I hope that Jimmy doesn't see this because this is the type of shit that he's been talking about for like a full year. This is the type of shit. And the fact that, right, again, the avatar collectible concept, right? It was cool a couple of times. It feels too much, right? This is my hot take. You don't have to agree with me. It's a lot of this, a lot of traits and things, and I don't know. I am the dumbest voice in this room. I am the loudest voice in this room. I don't know, man. I don't know. But it's great when you have a project like Ethlings willing to address that and talk it through, right? It makes me kind of sort of maybe, I don't know, maybe kind of sort of somewhat, I don't know, feel like I want to sympathize. But for the sake of the afties, I won't always like hop on the side. I'm going to be switching up my point of view all the time. It makes it a little kind of sort of better, right, Rizzle? Maybe kind of sort of maybe, I don't know, right? Sort of kind of maybe somewhat. It's thoughts, y'all. Yeah, oh no, I won't because Jim is flipping out. Speaking of like Jim has a Bored Ape. I'm looking at his avatar right now. He switched his avatar from a meat bit to a Bored Ape. But y'all, like, what are your thoughts? Is the avatar collectible dead? Has it run its course? Thoughts? Is it over? It's June. DeFi Summer 2.0 is officially 10 days in, y'all. Not NFTs. No. Don't get me wrong, Tig. Don't get me wrong, Tig. NFTs, I mean, I'll address that too, but I mean, just the avatar collectible. Is that dead? Has that run its course?
I don't think so. I mean, the one this week sold out in an hour.
I mean, but the other one kind of like failed its launch, right? The other one, right?
I don't know what the other one is.
Yeah, see, and I don't know too. I'm not in the loop. There's so many other ones randomly dropping. I'm not in the loop, man. It's like I thought I was cool, motherfuckers. I thought I was cool. Marty McFly, I thought I was cool, man. I didn't know. BB Studios, I thought I was cool. Milline, I thought I was cool. Tig, I thought I was cool. All these random drops popping up. They're selling out in 5 seconds. They're being resold on and inflated on fake secondary markets. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't know what the fuck is going on, y'all. What is going on? It's DeFi Summer 2.0.
All right. Yo, show, this is Jux. Can you hear me?
Hey, what's up, Juxton? I don't know what the fuck is going on, Juxton.
All right, man. I got an idea for you.
Talk to me.
So I'm thinking, what I see from this is, people going, like, just changing their avatars. It's like the next project, the next flavor of the month, which is cool, right? And then you have other people that are kind of like not following that script and how they present themselves. And they're just kind of like doing their own, their own avatar, building their own brand in whatever flavor of the metaverse that happens to be. I think what we're going to see here is that, the empty symbol of these avatars, like just being, just your Twitter face or, just this static thing online. I think that novelty is kind of dead. And we see so many projects like aping other projects. It's hard to distinguish, what's real. So I think the next phase of this is, okay, really interoperable. Like, how do these things act as tokens in the metaverse, to unlock, potentially avatars or rewards or access, et cetera. And I think, I think what we're going to see here is, yes, definitely like a DeFi summer too, but I'm hoping that we see like a metaverse summer. So, more and more people, if the market goes sideways here for a bit, it's an opportunity for a lot of people to start building, and like building value into these empty, symbols, which is what they are right now, backed on the promise that they have some value of scarcity, but that's TBD because, there's a network effect here. Now there's just 1 million of these scarce objects and they're scarce, bubbles. So I don't know. That's, I guess my thought here is that like this just being an icon, like a flat icon, maybe that's over. And maybe we can actually start like building this shit, like all of us, and like making it easier for people to build and collaborate and build like, systems. Like I'm really stoked on Ethermon right now. Kind of just like checking out what they've been doing. So in Decentraland, CryptoVoxel, Sandbox, Oculus, I've got an Oculus now and I'm starting to get into like web XR stuff, which is amazing. Webaverse is amazing. So yeah, hopefully we just take it to the next phase where we just start building, building more. And that's my 2 cents.
Yeah.
Juxton, you sound so smart. You sound so intelligent. You use big words. And just like everybody else in the voice channel, I'm too stupid to follow along. I'm too dumb. It sounds nice. I don't understand what you're saying. It's hard to follow. You're so smart. I just can't. Maybe I need to go back to school or something. I don't know.
What's hard to understand?
I'm dumb. That's the point. I'm stupid, man. And you're smart. That's it. That's what
I don't think you're stupid, Joe. I mean, I think you're playing a bit right now, but like my honest question back would be like, what was confusing, or where would you like to fit in, to this world that's getting built? That's more than just this flat Twitter avatar, like a real thing that we're all building. Like, where do you want to fit in? You can fit in anywhere.
I like to fit into round things, not flat things. Shout out to all the fat asses out there. What's up? Shout out to all the round fat asses. Woo woo. Yeah. Hey y'all. So
I'm too serious. This is my first time even on like TokenSmart like voice. Period. So like my bad for being a little easy. I'm a little too serious, but
Juxton, why are you apologizing during the afties? This is the afties. You've been here forever. What are you talking?
I just been lurking.
And you're speaking to me, motherfucker. You know me. Don't talk to me like you don't know me. What the hell is going on what is going on during DeFi Summer 2.0? There's all these avatars. I'm missing out on drops. I have all this ETH to spend, goddammit. Hey, so by the way, speaking of ETH and drops, right? I have to talk about, before I transition, I'll keep this super brief, right? We have to speak about the god of collectible NFTs, the man, the myth, the legend, right? Pranksy got a fucking blue check on Twitter, right? And now this individual has mastered the art of flipping all these avatar NFT collectibles, being in the mix, getting all this shit and making millions on the secondary market. These people are now looking to Pranksy. One tweet from Pranksy equals I don't know what the fuck. Now it's like what does it mean? Someone educate me. A top signal means when like your grandparents, right? When the casual apes in, right? What does it mean when it's like the bottom signal? Does that mean that everybody who's cool and shit is good? I don't know. Pranksy, people are looking at fucking Pranksy's tweets. It's fucking Pranksy. Like, dude, shout out to Pranks. It's fucking like everybody else. Like, we love Pranksy, but at the same time, it's like, what the fuck, man? What the fuck? What kind of alternate metaverse Pranksy's gonna be? He literally hit up Forbes. By the way, shout out to Prank. Someone tell Prank that I love him. But like he hit up the Forbes Twitter, and I'll transition from here. He hit up the Forbes Twitter. He's like, look, I got a blue check, right? I'm about to be 30 years old. He wants to be 30 under 30. He wants. This is big time. This is like super big. This is like career, super inspiring for people, for kids coming into the space. Also, Ryan Sean Adams from Bankless was like, hey, so Gen Zers, millennials have been kicking ass, right? Like Pranksy. We got to hand over these keys, not our private keys, but our keys to somebody. Are you going to pick them up? Are you going to do this shit? The road is being paved. The road is being paved by Matthew and Rizzle. You know, the road is being paved by BB Studios yelling and screaming about everybody in the Decentraland DAO. Right? All right, moving on. All right. Oh my God. So in regards to Anoymous Nobody, I wanted to wait, is he even here still? Let me see if he's even here. Because I'm gonna talk shit. No, he's not here. But I mean, speaking of like these people in the space for like ever, Anoymous Nobody is one of the first people I've seen on Twitter that made it seem cool. Always has his hand in something. I always felt like Anoymous Nobody had multiple Twitter accounts doing a bunch of different things. He seemed like he had like he was one of the first people to have an OpenSea storefront, and then did it again under a different name and made a lot of money and shit. But this isn't actually in regards to him. This is about something else. Right? Here's my hot take. All right. There are some artists in the space that have been doing incredible things for months on end, right? Always pushing the limit. So like Anoymous Nobody was always pushing the limit, trying things, experimenting, not afraid, right? Experimenting, testing the waters, always being consistent. My hot take is that too many people are playing it safe. Thoughts? Too many people are playing
what?
it.
Are
Who's that?
Nathan, Dragonade, of course. Are they using protection or something? Are they supposed to go in raw? Like, I don't know. What do you mean?
Dragonate's head is always in the digital gutter. Someone please save Dragonate from himself before something happens. I don't want my friend to go down on both of his knees. Hopefully he's okay. I don't know. You tell me. Was that rhetorical? Was that a rhetorical question?
Of course it was.
Artists, I guess artists do need to take the digital condom off, right? And just like Juxton said, find some things to stick it in. What are you invading, right? What are you infecting with your greatness?
People just need to, stick the tip into different new things.
Fill the envelope.
Who was that? Whose voice was that?
Easy. You gotta push and then fill the envelope sometimes.
Oh my God! Why?
It's you, Joe. You do
easy. like just like his name, right, suits his style and approach, but actually the easy style and approach to the metaverse is nothing like what his name suggests. Another individual pushing the limit seriously, right, but without suggesting anything else, trying things, experimenting. There's still too much safety. There's still too much safety.
In all seriousness, like, personally, I will try and play it a little safe, but I will also try and go big and sometimes take some big risks, because without the risk, there's not, like, a larger risk can equate to a larger reward. But at the same time, I'm not a whale. I don't just have bags of ETH. Like, I don't have any punks or meebits or apes or any of that shit. I probably need like a brain implant to alert me when there's a drop. And I don't know. It's tough. I think people do try and play it safe. Personally, I do take some risks.
I feel like I've said this during season 2 or season 3 or season. Dude, I say a lot of shit. We all know this. I feel like you can risk. Oh, just like in the almighty words of Brian Brinkman, I feel like you can risk it to get the biscuit, you know, but you can risk it without actually putting any liquid into it. You can risk it without putting any crypto into what you're attempting to do, right? Exactly. Creative risks, right?
True.
They like your sweat equity has a certain amount of whatever, you know, your time equity, right? The amount of time is what you can risk. Your time and your sweat, you can risk that, and that can equate something even more than what a little bit of ETH may get you.
Truth. I risked about 2.5 years, and you know, I feel like it's starting to pay off.
Is it? Are you rich?
I hope so.
No, I'm kidding.
I said I feel like it's starting. So like 3 years in, and things are looking good. I still don't, you know, I don't have big fat bags and just go buy anything I want, but hopefully one day I'll be there.
I have big fat bags from Trader Joe's. I've been buying up all the cauliflower gnocchi. I've been getting all of the almond butter, soy milk. It's been awesome. It's been great. Shout out to Trader Joe's. Shout out to I can't even speak. Maybe that's because I've been eating too much Trader Joe's. Oh my God.
Take a deep breath, drink some water, and freaking calm down.
I have been dying because people aren't risking the biscuit. I need some water.
We don't want you to die, Show. Come on.
I'm dying because I've been eating too many of the biscuits. I've been risking biscuits, Brian Brinkman, and there's not enough liquid to go around.
Risk the biscuit, but never the gravy. Didn't you know that part? Gotta keep the gravy so you don't get too dry.
Does Trader Joe's sell gravy? Because I'm Brian Brinkman. My throat is dry, and I'm coughing.
Veggie, turkey, mushroom gravy, probably.
Dude, we're all plant-based. We're plant-based. No, I'm voxel-based. It has to be voxel food or not at all. Trader Joe's will have an installation like Horace. Shout out to Horace for hosting the WIP, by the way. Well, Trader Joe's will contract Horace to build them a digi-physical version of a Trader Joe's store in crypto voxels, and we'll be eating voxels. Thoughts, y'all? Thoughts on what I'm saying? Thoughts? Conwolf just said risk the biscuit, but never the sandwiches.
That just sounds silly.
It sounds silly to you to risk the biscuit?
No, it sounds silly to me to be eating voxels. How can we eat the digital food or digital things that may or may not be food and have that fill our physical bodies?
You're not risking it enough. Why not eat the voxel? Risk eating a voxel to get the big bags like Easy and Crypto. What is going on right now?
Do you have some voxels to spare right now? If you have a few voxels to spare, I'll take the risk.
No, I don't have voxels to spare. You get your own voxels. You get your own Trader Joe's. You get your own voxels. You get your own biscuits.
No.
Easy has a lot. Ask Easy. Maybe he'll donate like Anoymous Nobody is asking for donations for the teachers. By the way,
Easy, give.
Hey, Yeah, go ahead.
I'll whip you up a voxel biscuit.
Hey, by the way, I made a comment and I want to clarify it. All right, my hot take was that teachers are like prison wardens in New York City, and I can say that because I'm from this city and I'm a product of that shit. So when I tell you, I'm not saying that the people around me were kids that were on a pipeline to go to prison. I'm saying that what it felt like fucking prison. It felt like literally you ain't learning shit, right? There's piss in the hallways. God damn it. There's shanks. No, well, hey, so they're more like box cutters. But dude, they give you the same lunch that they feed in prison, sandwiches, like dry biscuits, dry bologna sandwiches, and milk. Who's eating that shit? Where's the Trader Joe's? The kids nowadays. Someone needs to give Anoymous Nobody $1,000 to give the teachers so the teachers can go out shopping at Trader Joe's and bring all the biscuits back to the schools that they teach at. Thoughts?
Better food, more food, nutritious food helps the students learn better. So yes, I agree.
In France, they serve like multi-course meals at like kindergarten. They have like cheese and wine.
Oh.
Wait, easy.
Excuse?
Say that again. Yeah, say that. Repeat that one more time.
In France, they like bring out like grapes to start, and then a cheese plate, a couple different wines to sample, like starting in kindergarten. That's what I heard.
Thoughts? Hot take on what Easy just said. Opinions, please.
How dare they? Don't they know that alcohol kills the children's brains? How dare they? They're trying to kill the children.
So it's the opposite of prison in France. It's, I don't even know. What is the opposite of prison, and why does it exist in schools in France? Wait, Mark Rendar said they dilute the wine. But hey, Mark Rendar, even if they dilute the wine, the fact is that it's wine still, regardless of how far you dilute it. Yeah, thank you, Hidden Forces. Dilute it with LSD. Maybe they'll be able to think faster, smarter, higher, better, stronger. Right? Yeah. They dilute it with cheese lemonade from Rizzle. Cheese wine and the cheese lemonade from Rizzle. Yo, shout out to Horace. Much love. All right, moving on. Last but not least, okay. All right, hold on. I had some things, right? I have a whole fucking paragraph here, but we need to switch this shit up, right? Hold on one second. Because never in the history, and this is shout out to the WIP crew. I gotta say this on behalf of all of us. All right, for all members of the WIP crew, I have to say this shit. Never in the history of the WIP has a presenter flaked. Presenters have had tech issues. Presenters have been late. Presenters, right, have been kind of wishy-washy, but then realized the greatness that the WIP is, right? Presenters have like they full on cried, they've yelled, they've screamed, they've experienced so many things. But the last thing, the only thing that has never fucking happened other than a fucking lawsuit of the WIP, right, has been a fucking flaking situation. What the fuck? What the absolute? If you could see my left hand, I am making a random, I don't know, I'm making hand shapes and I'm waving my arm around and I am like, what? You can hear it in my voice, in the way that I'm speaking. What the fuck? What?
Hey, here's a new one I heard earlier. What in the Kentucky Fried Fuck?
What? Thank you in the almighty glorious words of my friend Dragonate. What in the entire, wait, what? Kentucky Fried Chicken?
Kentucky Fried Fuck.
What in the Kentucky Fried Chicken fuck? Fucking all the chickens. Because that's apparently what the fuck just happened. You rather go fuck Kentucky Fried Chickens than present at the WIP? What? Who's the one that was like, how dare you? Who wrote that earlier? Someone scroll up in the WIP channel, and when we realized what happened, who wrote how dare you? Because I was like, wait, what, dude? I gotta go run and take a piss while the presenter is talking, and I was like, wait, what? I had to run back to my microphone and see what the hell is going on. I was like, dude. I was like, wait, there's no Rizzle. I don't normally do it, but god damn it. It was like just a second. So I had to hold it in, right? I had to hold it in. Hey, listen, man, I can talk about this because this individual was a friend, is a friend, I guess. I don't know now. Dude, you left me hanging at the altar. We were supposed to elope, Russ Franky, and you left me at the altar. Yeah, sort of, kind of, maybe, I don't know, friend, right, Riz? What do we do? What the fuck do we do? I had this whole long thing. I was like, yeah, his project is about music and audio and NFTs. I talk about this all the time. We talked about it with Vandal from DAO Records. Shout out to Vandal. You know, that's the homie. That's my bro. That's my friend, right? You got Jack's Hideaway. You got all these different things. You got Easy and Cypher, all these different initiatives when it comes to music, blah, blah. And I was like, wait, what? What? Thoughts, y'all? But before I tie in something else, thoughts. Unmute your microphone. Thoughts on what happened. What are your thoughts?
I'm a little butthurt. He ditched us in Vegas. I mean, well, he better show up in Vegas or he's really out. He ditched us in Miami. Bailed on the WIP. I actually really wanted to hear about this project because he shot me a DM a little while ago and was like, hey, dude, super cool new project. And I was like, oh, is this music based? He's like, yeah. Dropped me the link to join the Discord. I was like, all right, I got to figure out when to bail from. Now I'm like, bro, am I even bailing from another Discord?
Are we even friends? Right? Easy? Right? Like, what the fuck is... Thoughts, y'all? Piggyback off of what Easy said. Unmute your microphone. This is the first time this has ever happened. You love the WIP. You come here every single week, y'all. A presenter has always landed their SpaceX shuttle in the TokenSmart fucking launch platform, whatever the fuck you want to call it. This is the first time this Dragon capsule has capsized. Thoughts? Yes, Carolina, exactly. Thoughts, y'all? This is your WIP. Thank you, Jack's Hideaway. Same. That's how I feel. Thoughts, y'all? Thoughts? What if no presenters show up? What happens then? Huh? What if all presenters flake? What do we do?
We still get a video.
It would be the biggest afties ever.
Oh, wait.
Yeah,
don't all talk.
That
no. That's what's going to happen. You're going to have 20 or 30 people all speaking at the same time, right? It'll be chaos. Paradox, what did you say about what? And then I'll branch off to Easy and Nate. Paradox, what'd you say?
I said, do you think we'll still get a video?
You tell me, dude. Everybody flakes. What happens? This has never happened before. What happens?
A really boring video, but it'll still get.
It'll just be a boring video by Paradox himself, just filming an empty world, and it would be sad, and it would kill CryptoVoxels, and it would kill the digital environment, global warming, in digital form, because people leave the WIP.
It'll be an awesome think piece from Crypto Paradox. Shout out to Paradox. The consistency, unlike one presenter who didn't show up, right? Thank you, Dragonate, for elucidating that. I don't know why I'm thanking you as the afties. I should be like, no, shit, wait. Easy, what'd you have to say? Thoughts?
Oh yeah, it would be the prees and the afties, one big shout session. I don't know. It's too much of a shot to the heart to even think about, man.
Well, there's a symbiosis between, right, the WIP presenters and the afties. The afties cannot exist without the WIP. Obviously, it's part of the WIP, motherfuckers. God damn it. So we need presenters in order for it to work. And this is not just a shout session. Everyone shouting doesn't mean it's good. right? You're not here just for the shouting. I shout in a particular way. It's like what Mark Rendar said. It's like what Mark Rendar just said about giving wine and cheese to kids. And you can give any kind of wine. Doesn't mean that the wine is good. You can dilute the wine. Is the wine still tasty? Right? Just like Elizabeth Warren said, she's like, oh my God, these crypto coins are terrible. Oh my God, this Doji coin is the worst. This ransomware colonial pipeline, people are being scammed. The IRS is like, we need more access in order to steal more money from these people. They can't have too much control, right? My point is this, right? You can't dilute this shit. Just like they tried to provide FUD, just like I said at the beginning, you can not feed into FUD. You can't dilute the wine, right? Trying to say that this thing is an issue when it's not. You know, this crypto is not an issue. It is the future. You're inhibiting innovation, like what Ethlings was talking about, right? You cannot dilute the wine. Crypto is not going anywhere, Elizabeth Warren, just because you didn't become president of the United States or the vice president. Now you're salty and now you want to inhibit innovation. What happened to the education? Anoymous Nobody is doing more for education than a teacher like Elizabeth Warren was trying to become the president of the United States. God damn it. Exactly, Rizzle. Salt. There's not enough salt on these cheese and crackers in French schools, right? But you know what is? You know where the salt is at? I'm turning the salt into sugar during the afties in this wine. This wine can't be diluted during the afties, y'all. And you know what else can't be diluted either? The fact that Bitcoin is now legal fucking tender in El Salvador. And not only that, y'all, and to bring this all fucking home, on this volcano that we call the TokenSmart server community, to this volcano that we call the WIP each week, right? You can't dilute lava. The lava keeps flowing. It is fire at all times, even when the outside cools off. The heart is still hot as fuck. You can flake. You can have frosted fucking flakes or Kentucky fucking fried chicken on top of the cooled off lava, but the heart is still hot as shit. And you know what else is hot too? The fact that this fucking volcano in El Salvador is the future, creating landmass for everybody else, both in the digital space, in the crypto space, and for everybody else to walk on. This land is not going anywhere, motherfuckers. Shout out to each and every single one of you. Much love. Shout out to the WIP crew. Shout out to all our awesome presenters. Shout out to the WIP fam who came through. I love each and every single one of you, and I will see you next week. Oh yeah, please stick around for all the awesome events. Cypher later on. We have Jack's Hideaway too, I believe. Please hang out. Much love. I love each and every single one of you. Yeah, big things are going. You don't know. Peace.
Peace. Hope to see y'all at the Cypher. 1.5 hour countdown.